always like to reference the old IJ, the IJ of the past, how she would have reacted to things now, and that's how I know I am really growing into such a fine woman, a woman I am incredibly proud of and learning to give a lot of grace to. What I'm about to say is already making old IJ cringe. But my year has started in such a beautiful way, in a way that I am still learning to get comfortable in. All of January, I have been receiving ping moments about how I will be moving in 2023. And I can honestly say it comes from deepening my relationship with my body, learning how to deeply trust my intuition and my spiritual life. I repeat, the old IJ is cringing really hard, because the old IJ would have felt very foolish saying all these things, saying that she was making decisions from her feelings, from her body, from her intuition. The old IJ thought all that was hogwash, but now it feels good, it feels sure, and I really love the way life turns out for me now that I live the way I do. Let me share 3 of my pings as we make my indulgent breakfast. Ping number 1, I start how I mean to go. I heard this sentence from one of my faves, the Slum Flower. I'll make sure to link her podcast down below. She just started her podcast, absolutely fabulous. She is such a treat to listen to. Anyway, this is the year of starting how I mean to go. This is the year of full-on energy, intentional energy. Let me give you a layman's example. Imagine being an actor, getting ready to go on stage, and the audience is there, the tickets have been sold. Would you get on stage without doing your makeup? Without putting on your costume? Without studying the script? Of course not. That's what I'm doing this year. I'm being mindful about how I show up, and I'm truly starting how I mean to go. I will prepare myself. I will check in with myself to make sure that my goals are in my crosshairs, and then I will move. I'm going to go even a little bit deeper. I'm not going to move from a place of consistency. How do I explain this? I'm not going to be productive for the sake of being productive, of simply showing up. I've decided that this is the year where I really create good things in all the spheres in my life. All my actions are going to be extremely intentional, and how we think of consistency and productivity, this year I'm breaking that down. Ping number 2, this is the year of believing actions and not words. This is something more in my personal life, I would say, but for me this year, I am really solidifying that in the foundations of my love story, of my emotional story, of my mental story, of my relationship story. I am truly believing people's actions before I believe their words. And this is important for me because I have always excused bad behavior. I have always given people's words more weight than their actions. And I'm sure this is something we have all done with varying degrees. So I know I'm not saying anything strange. At the end of the day, we are humans, and one of the best things we like to do is be in relationships. For me this year, I'm really going to sit with that, and I am going to make sure that it becomes core to the way I love. I want to see your actions. I want to believe your actions. I want to study your actions before I even have time to listen to your words. I like to say this, and I've always said this, and it's not from a place of arrogance. I just simply know who I am. Let me tell you, if you've been loved by me, you've been loved well. Oh, I love love. I love love. and this year I want to gatekeep my love. I want to raise the standard of access to my love. So yeah, this year, magnifying glass, actions, okay? Ping number 3, doing less and receiving more. Now this is absolutely not about me laying back and expecting everything to land on my laps, but it's really checking in with the value of my action. Back to point number 1, you know, I'm in that stage where I'm breaking down the ideas of what I was taught consistency and productivity and work looks like, and I don't want to just work and create and move simply because that's what I'm supposed to do. I repeat myself, I really want to make sure that there is value in my action. I want to check in with myself deeply to make sure that I'm not on autopilot. I want to move with my desires clearly, much more clearly in my mind. I'll give you another example. I have spent quite a bit of time in January filming with the intention of coming back to YouTube in February. Sometime last week, this ping moment was just dancing in my head, and I decided, no, delete everything, start again. I know. The old Ijeoma would have been kicking and screaming. Should have told herself, how much work have you put in? How dare you delete everything? But the Ijeoma that I am now, I know that editing those videos would have not brought me joy. I would have constantly been thinking I could do this better. I just would have not been happy with the work that I would have produced. And by letting that go, I immediately got this flurry of creativity and this video came to mind. I am really looking forward to editing it, in fact. I know it might sound a bit ironical, IJ, you were doing less and receiving more, but think about it, I did do less. I didn't edit that footage. If I edited it, then I would be doing the most. I decided to delete it, start again, think intentionally about where I was going, because the ideas were good, they just needed better execution. This one is a little bit complex, a little bit woven, but I hope I've gotten my point across. Maybe at the end of the year we'll do a check-in, or maybe mid-year, who knows. This is the year of doing less and receiving more, so let's see how I feel then. Thank you for listening to me and keeping me company as I made breakfast. This is what I'm calling a special breakfast. It was one of the things I decided to gift myself last year. Like an actionable gift. My husband also has something he calls a special breakfast, which I've always made for him. But last Christmas, I decided, hang on, I don't have a special breakfast, what's going on? So this is what I came up with. It's really just something that I wanted to be indulgent, full of my favorite things. There is cake, there's a parfait. I am calling this a parfait. We can argue in the comments. There's fresh coffee, I've got some bark and some fruit and fresh juice. It's just a vibe. It's things that I love to eat, all put together. I usually have very simple breakfast, so this is definitely very extra for me. You know what? It's for real. Coffee is like a drug, because that first sip, you stay chasing it. Time for me to go and eat. Down in the description box, I will put anything that I think is relevant to this video. And I want to thank you so much once again for being here. My name is Ijeoma, and I'll see you soon.